All right, peace and blessings, everybody. It's August the 20th, Monday, the year 2018. And you know, there are so many videos of police misconduct, police brutality, police murdering people. Um, you could just spend your whole day in complete state of irateness. Whether it be Graham Dyer when they they tasered this young man in the testicles until he died while he was handcuffed in the back seat of a cop car. Then they hid the video evidence for years until his parents actually finally successfully obtained the video evidence, which allowed us to know that's what they did. And imagine that just the small instances where in the overall big picture that are caught on audio and video, and yet there's an overwhelming number of these instances that are caught on video. And I got to tell you a story before we get into this Alabama situation with Robert Earl Lawrence. Robert Earl Lawrence is this man right here. He was murdered by the cops. This guy right here. But let me just quickly say, so this is a video. You guys need to watch this video. It's one of many, but it really shows how much of evilness has crept into our local law enforcement and how they murdered this man, Robert Earl Lawrence. And I went to church this Sunday, and I was at a black church. You guys know that I go to Pastor Broden's church. And after the church service ended, I engaged a black lady about a conversation about, you know, I was talking about police brutality and the police using lethal force. But she interpreted that I was bringing up Black Lives Matter, and the conversation went into, well, Black Lives Matter was started by two lesbians. It's funded by George Soros. And because this is a Christian lady, she did not identify in any way, shape, or form with Black Lives Matter. I said, but they have some good points. The police are indeed very brutal, and they're very oppressive, and they murder people, and they never get held accountable. Her response back to me was very surprising, because I thought I would get in agreement with that. But her attitude was, just do what the police tell you to do. You'll both be able to go home alive, and you can fight it later in court. And that was her attitude, and I really was taken aback, and I had to sit back and think about that. Just do what the police tell you to do, and you'll both go home alive. I don't know why that thing always goes off when I'm making a video. Man, it really is frustrating. Hopefully it won't go off again. But I'm of the opinion that you're not going to get your day in court, because I've seen so many instances and I've researched so many cases that even if it's caught on video and you do what they tell you to do, that you will not get your day in court. They can murder you anyway. Jeffrey Winehouse was murdered, and he certainly wasn't disobeying orders. He simply had a firearm on his side. He never pulled his firearm, and yet they tried to murder him. It was caught on video, and yet they're never held accountable. As a matter of fact, they put Jeffrey Winehouse in prison. So if you're going to be murdered anyway, and you already have lost faith in the court systems, and you know you're not going to get your fair day in court, go out on your own terms. You interpret that however you want to interpret that, but I don't believe that you are obligated to submit and kiss the ring and bow the knee to Baal and become subservient to tyranny, because they're going to kill you anyway. I mean, they're going to kill you anyway. You're not going to get your fair day in trial. And so why would you want to go out like a slave? Why not go out like a man with dignity and just resist them? I mean, you guys tell me what you think in the comment section, but her attitude, and I'm not trying to slam her, she's a female too, and so females may have different opinion. This man was murdered in front of his children and his wife. I mean, the lady just murders him. He was not posing a threat to either one of those law officers, but yet they felt obligated to be able to be his tyrants, and so they murdered him. It's a horrific, heartbreaking scene at the point of the video where the little boy jumps out of the back seat and watches his father dying on the ground after the law enforcement officer has killed him. So I consider these law enforcement officers domestic enemies, murderers, filled with Satan. And if they're going to kill us anyway, then make your mind up now how you're going to respond, and at least try to act like men. Don't act like mice who cower under, cowardly, just subservient every time they yell at you and bark an order. This man gave his life. If you read the story, he was trying to return a stray dog to a veterinary clinic. He wasn't doing anything illegal, and they murdered him. And these people need to be sent to the electric chair after they're convicted in a court of law to be made an example of. That's what I would do to them. But I've ranted on long enough. I can get very angry, and I could yell into the camera, and I could go on for hours about my hatred for these types of individuals who were there to protect and to serve, but yet they have decided that it's okay to murder, and they're going to get away with it. And also they call this man a sovereign citizen. That's what they're going to do to all of us. Well, he was a sovereign citizen. And don't kid yourself. When they murder you, like they did this man, most of humanity are going to say, well, he deserved it. He should have just did what they said, and he would be alive today. Most of humanity is going to side with the police. So you need to make your mind up. Are you going to side with the tyrannical police and lose your dignity and be labeled, they're going to call you the enemy of the state? Or are you going to maintain your freedom and your integrity? I happen to think that Robert Earl Lawrence is a hero. And I don't think he died in vain. I wish that he had not died. I wish they had not murdered him. And I believe that the lady who murdered him and the police officers involved in that, I believe once they're convicted, should be sent to the electric chair.